Hey everyone, welcome to Broken Tool Garage. This is my YouTube channel where I go about fixing things, sometimes. So if you've been watching what I've been doing lately, I've been working on my '89 Mustang 5.0 JYM. Took all the upper end of the engine off, rebuilt cylinder heads, put a cam in there, put it all back together. So this video is going to cover the final assembly and startup. So what do I have left? I have gone over firing order because I changed the cam, which I went from the old school non-HO 302-289 firing order to the new 351 HO firing order. So that'll change two things. It'll change my ignition firing order, and it'll also change my injector firing order. So I want to go over how I went about repinning the computer to make that match. I'll button up the upper intake, get everything hooked up on that, go through how to prime the engine, and then check for water leaks. I think I had a water leak on there, and get it started up. Stick around for test drives as well. So here we go. Okay, I just want to show the firing order difference right here. So if you look, except HO, which is the old 302-289 firing order, HO is like the 351 firing order, and so the 5 and 4 and 3 7 come over here, 3 7 5 4. So that's what they did. So what I'm going to do is come in and find my number 5 and swap my 5 and 3, right? Because when 5, right now 5 is firing the way it's pinned for a non-HO. So I need to swap 5 and 3 basically, because when we come back over here, there's 5 and we see 3, right? So we know that that's what they flopped. And then I'll do my 4 and 7 and I'll get it corrected. I know where my injectors lie, and I know what cylinder, where the cylinders are. So if I'm looking for number 5 on a Ford 302, it's this one right here. So I'm looking at number 5, and I'll check my wires. Right there. I know you probably can't see the color in here, but I'll check that one compared to my number 3, which on a Ford, you got 1, 2, 3, and number 3 right there. So whenever I'm coming in there and digging in the computer, I got a reference, and if I wanted to, I could actually run continuity up here to make sure it is the correct wire. So this little bridge right here that was sitting inside there, you got to pick that out. Then I just kind of stretch the wires out to where I got room to work on them. I'll identify the wires I want, and then play the game of unpinning the connector. So I'm really not going to show that. That's not the scope of what I'm doing. I'm just showing that, yes, I have to go in here and do something like this on my, well, pretty much an oddball case is what this is. Most people don't do this because they didn't have very many non-HO Mustangs with the oddball firing order, but this engine came out of like a Grand Marquis grandma car. That's why I have the oddball non-HO engine, which is not real desirable for a lot of reasons. You can look that up and you can see a whole lot of hate for the non-HO engine and the non-HO cam. So, alright, that's what I'm doing. Also, stop fighting my light. I check my ground here. Always a good thing to do, because look at that. Nothing 8mm won't fix, right? Hope it's 8. No. Well, whatever millimetric it is. Alright, I got pretty much everything back together. I'm I just need to work on the ignition system, but I want to prime the oiling system first. I got new lifters in there, so the lifters are hydraulic and they need to be pumped up with oil. So that's what I'm about to do right there. So you can see a little bit of progress that's been completed on there. Pretty much everything other than my intake tube and spark plug wires. Okay, about the prime. So I'm using a drill and a shaft right here that goes all the way down to the oil pump, and I'm going to spin it up just like what the engine would be doing, except for I'm not turning the engine over. So no, this isn't my drill. I left my drill at the new place, put up some walls, so I had to go borrow one. So what you want to do is you don't want to get your drill and just go all out and squeeze the trigger all the way down, because when it picks up oil, a lot of times you get a whole lot of torque and the drill will kick on you, and then, you know, if you got your hand over there, it's going to hurt your wrist or mash your hand. So you just want a variable speed drill is nice because you can just kind of barely go into it like this. Alright, so this is set up right here. I've got the drill chucked up to an old shaft. It's like a hex in the middle of that goes onto the oil pump. So when I have that go down in there, the oil pump shaft comes up, and then that turns the oil pump. So that's all it is. Little priming tool. That's it. Yeah, leak. Now that's why I put water in it. So I think my hose clamp, my low red area hose right here, I don't have it on there real good. Okay, it's about that time. Everything's together. All I have left to do is put the battery in and then simple start. Prime it a couple times, make sure I got fuel pressure up, check for fuel leaks, and then go ahead and simple start. So what I've done on this is I've pulled the intake manifold off and the valve covers in the head and the timing chain. All this stuff I've pulled apart, and I've done a home rebuild on heads. I used the Trick Flow valve spring kit, the 2500-100. I went in and did a little bit of light porting on them, did the new valve seals, put the heads back on. For the cam, this is a non-HO engine, so it has a different firing order. It's the old 302-289 firing order. I've used the Explorer cam, and then I've went in and timed that at 8 degrees advanced timing on the crankshaft, which is 4 degrees on the camshaft, because the camshaft turns at half the speed of the crank, right? So I have some advance built into there. Got it all together. I'm running a 1.7 rocker on this. Other than that, I didn't do any more changes to it. It ran the way it was. So this is just some good updates, rebuilding the heads. And I wanted to go to the HO firing order. So that's the one thing that did change going to Explorer Cam, is that changes my firing order, ignition firing order, and also changes my injector firing order. So the question is, did I get everything put back together, and what's going to happen? Alright, competing with the neighbor's go-kart. Alright, I jacked the timing. My amp gauge stopped working, or my amp gauge come on, so I don't know what's up with that. Give her a shot. Yeah, I like that extra timing, but my charging system now is not working, so I'll need to troubleshoot that. Always something on these cars. Well, I think I might knock off for now. Take a break anyway. Okay, everything was good and tight on the alternator, and it was getting juice where it's supposed to get juice. So if it don't work, it just took a crap. Checked a little more timing into it, and see what we get. Vroom, vroom. any kind of starter labor whatsoever. So I could have a vacuum leak. You know, I did a few changes on the intake manifold, and there's like a bunch of stuff on the bottom of that upper. So I don't know. I might have to pull that back off and take a peek at it. So I might, now that it idles, might get a timing light on it, but I don't have a charging system, so running the fan and everything's just going to drain my battery down. Don't know. The only thing I know to do is go get the alternator tested at this point. It could be the little voltage regulator on the voltage regulator on the back went out. So, but I worked all day today, all week. It's Friday, and I'm ready to do some other work on this. It did start, so it's still got a little bit of ticking noise up in there, but it might take a little bit for those lifters to finally fully pump up. Don't know. I'm tired, so I need to go get caught up on watching you guys' YouTube channels, right? So, did a little test drive with Jim. And you maybe wonder, why is there mud all over the inside of my car? Well, some goofball wannabe car mechanic builder left a shop rag underneath the hood and it fell down on the header. So, yeah, that was exciting. No real harm done, but I did hurt the feelings of that rag. So anyways, on to the test drive.